Find an opinion piece from a left-wing government-funded broadcaster, it's going to be good. Here we go. Here's an opinion from the feed on SBS. Opinion. 8% of prisoners are women. That's about 8% too many. Gee, I wonder why they might think that. Let's dig into this, shall we? Female incarceration numbers are at record highs and climbing. Dean and numbers are at record highs and climbing. Dean and head of School of Law at Deakin University, oh God, that's a worry, Dr. Mirko Bagaric, thinks that the undeniable differences between men and women when it comes to committing crime should be reflected in a fundamentally different approach to the sentencing of women. So who is this Dr. Mirko Bagaric, you may ask? Well, he's the director of the Bachelor of Criminal Justice and Criminology, which commences in 2019, and Criminology, which commences in 2019 at Swinburne Law School. Sounds like he's the director of the Bachelor of Social Justice and Criminology by this title. Apparently, he's an internationally renowned expert in punishment and sentencing. Before joining Swinburne University, he was the dean and head of the law school at Deakin University. There it is, Deakin University, hotbed of SJWs. When it comes to committing crimes, humans have two distinct forms. Overwhelmingly, men perform most criminal acts, and with only a hint of exaggeration, women never commit the most heinous offenses. I mean, they don't murder children. That's not murder. That's infanticide, remember? You know, they don't murder their husbands for money. That doesn't happen. Never. See where I'm going with this, guys? The numbers don't lie. Women constitute approximately 8% of all Australian prisoners. That figure may seem small, but it should be somewhere between 0 and 1% of the total prison population. Let me explain. Oh, please explain this bullshit to me, doctor. When women kill, it is usually motivated by different factors than when men kill. Women often kill against a backdrop of victimization and hopelessness. Sorry, hang on. When women kill, they often kill against a backdrop of victimization and hopelessness, not because they're angry or revengeful. The most recent figures relating to offense types for which people are imprisoned show that 9% of women were imprisoned for homicide and related offenses. Oh, so women do kill and murder. That's good to know. The most common offenses for which women are imprisoned are unlawful entry, aka breaking into places they shouldn't be. Men do it too. I'm not disputing that. Theft, fraud, and deception offenses. Gee, women never lie or commit fraud, do they? Drug offenses and offenses against justice procedures. So basically going against the law and pretty much making trouble and disregarding what judges in the court of law say, disregarding what police tell them they have to do. Basically just ignoring any position of authority, because that's what feminism tends to lean towards, ignoring authority and just doing whatever the fuck you want. By contrast, the majority of men are in prison for acts of violence or sexual offenses. Around 30% of male prisoners are classified as minimum security, whereas more than 70% of female prisoners have this classification. So, are you guys saying that anyone in minimum security should be let out, including men? Oh, no, you just want women to be let off scot-free. What's the impact on the community? Women who commit the same crime as men should, get this bullshit, guys, in most cases, receive lighter penalties. Lighter penalties for the same crime. Just because vagina, right? This should be so for 3 reasons. Vagina, vagina, and vagina. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I made that bit up, but it's basically true. Women reoffend less frequently than men by a very considerable margin. The impact of imprisonment on women is generally more damaging than on men. Women who are in prison for a long time can have the right to procreate effectively negated. So what you're saying is they can't have kids while in prison. Oh, poor diddums. I mean, kind of seems so unfair for these poor women to not be able to breed while they're fucking criminals in prison. Women also suffer more while they're imprisoned. They are more likely to have mental health issues and be victims of sexual abuse. Yeah, by other women mostly. Women perform a greater portion of the caretaking roles in society than men. Removing women from society often has a devastating impact on their children, relatives, and other dependents. This disruption should be minimized. Alternatives to a prison sentence for female offenders should be developed. Other solutions for serious, such as 24/7 CCTV and electronic monitoring. So for the really serious crimes, we still can't jail women. We can only put a camera on them, which is basically all they do all day. Like, put a camera on them and put an ankle bracelet on them. For the really serious ones, you know, the mass murderers and mothers that kill like 8 of their kids and just stuff like that. You know, just the small stuff that women don't need to be in prison for, but men do. Effectively eliminating the threat of imprisonment from this female psyche will not encourage them to commit more crime. No, because the threat of punishment totally won't discourage women from doing the wrong thing. Right? The lack of a threat of punishment, I mean, if you take away the threat of punishment, women are totally going to behave better. Yeah, because that's worked so well for you for the last 10, 20 years, hasn't it? Empirical data establishes that there is no link between severe penalties and low crime. Yeah, so I'm not even going to go into that. This is just so ridiculous. The only policing and sentencing approach that reduces crime is increasing the perception in people's minds that if they commit a crime, they'll be caught. Exactly right, because women hate getting caught out when they do the wrong thing, as do men, but so do women, and they probably hate it even more because they just have never been held accountable for anything in their lives, or very, very infrequently, at least. Isn't it sexist to treat men and women differently? Oh, that's a great question, Doctor. I can't wait to read your little opinion on this bit because I was thinking the exact same thing. There is a difference between treating male and female criminals equally and treating them equitably. Oh, equity. This is going to be good. Equally is when the same punishment is handed down. Equitably is when the punishment handed down impacts the two groups to the same extent. In short, equal means exactly the same, whereas equitable means fair, because fair and exactly the same are not the same thing when it comes to women, because women need special treatment for things to be fair. It is a misguided sense of equality, good old buzzword there, to suggest that female offenders should be treated the same as males. Wait, so you've just said that equally is when the same punishment's handed down. Equitably is when it's fair for women, that is. And it's a misguided sense of equality, which is the act of being equal, to suggest that female offenders should be treated the same. So you really don't want equality, you want equity, is what you're saying. Yes, some women in the community commit acts that seriously damage others, and yes, they require harsh treatment, like ankle bracelets and having CCTV monitoring, because that's plenty harsh enough for a woman. But this justifies Australia having one female jail, not a dozen. Finally, implementing changes to the sentencing system that will benefit women does not necessarily prejudice men. The opposite is the case. Really? Want to see how this happens? Reforms will prompt a reassessment of all sentencing principles for non-violent and non-sexual offenders, including men. Yeah, but you've just said that men and women shouldn't be treated the same. So I don't really see you coming good on treating men and women the same with these new policies. This is the only tenable approach to dealing with Australia's prison overcrowding crisis. This article was adapted with the author's permission from a piece that originally appeared on The Conversation. Just thought I'd put that little disclaimer in there, and I have included the link to this article in the description below. So guys, exactly what do you think? I want you to leave your comments and your thoughts on this in the description below, right? And I'd really love to get your thoughts on the policymakers and on the person putting forward this opinion and on the hypocrisies in it, because this is just an absolute joke in my personal opinion. You know, and I'm not saying that you guys should think it's a joke. I'm just saying I think it's a joke, but I'd love to get your opinions. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce in a second. But I'm sorry I haven't been around the last couple of days. I've been busy. I've been riding my bike to and from work. It's been raining. I've had so much stuff on. It's been crazy. But if you do want to donate, 10,000 subscribers, guys. I appreciate you all helping me get there so much. Please share this video, smash the like button, and also drop your comments and send this to everyone you know that will get a kick out of this, especially people that are constantly ratting on about how feminism is about equality. And how, you know, feminists just want men and women to be treated equally, because that's clearly not the case. All right, guys, I'm out here for now. I'll catch you again in the next video. Smash that thumbs up, share it. I appreciate you all. Peace.